Hi everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, I'll show you the features of the 2D window. First, we'll start with the floating toolbar at the top. Starting from the fabric section, the first feature is to display the textured 2D surface. By default, it shows a semi-transparent gray pattern. If you want to display the fabric texture, just click on Textured 2D Surface and you'll be able to see its pattern. You can then proceed with the necessary operations. If the fabric has a print, you can also click here and then click Edit Texture under Assets to adjust the print's position. Next is 2D Mesh. Turn on the grid, we can see that the triangular particles on the pattern will all be displayed. Below that is Translucent 2D Cloth. You can turn on the texture to make the fabric appear translucent. If necessary, a comparison between the plates can be made. When the plates overlap, it becomes easier to observe. The next feature is 2D Grain Line. The direction of the fabric grain is also related to the texture editing under the assets. We usually hide it as well. Then, we have Color for the 2D window. The colors can be set in the 2D viewport for the display of various attributes of the garment, including snap, link, elasticity, fold, 2D fix pin and seam tape. These can be shown or hidden without affecting the 3D window's display. Next, we have the pattern. This setting allows you to display the basic information about the pattern in the 2D window. There are two options: pattern name and annotation. To add annotations, click on Add Annotations under the Home, write your note on the pattern pieces. Then, simply click to show or hide the annotations. The next function is 2D Baseline. By default, baselines are shown. If there are too many baselines that are unnecessary, you can hide them. Next is the display and hiding of the 2D sewing line. Then, we have the seam allowance and grading feature, which I won't go into further. Next, let's look at length. You can set the edge length of the 2D garment and the ruler in the 2D window. The first option is to display edge lengths. When enabled, all the edge lengths of the pattern will be shown, including internal lines. The next feature is to display the reference ruler in the 2D window. It will change with zooming in or out of the window. The next tool is the guideline feature. Select Edit Pattern, and select a point at random, right-click with the mouse, and choose Create Guideline. You can select the required guideline, and if you want to hide it, just click again. Another function is Size Measurement. Select the part you want to measure, then click on Size Measurement to get the data. The last tool here is Quantitative Adsorption. When using the pen tool, it automatically generates evenly spaced points along the edge of the pattern. The distance between points can be adjusted here. This is the content on the 2D toolbar side. Now, let's look at what happens when you right-click in the blank area. First, you'll see two options: Smart Guide and Snap to Edge. First is Smart Guide, which allows us to quickly align the edges or midlines of other pattern pieces. When moving a pattern piece, and it will snap to these reference lines. Next is Snap to Edge. This tool allows you to quickly align the edges or vertices of a pattern piece to the edges of other pattern pieces. When moving them. Here, you can see that the back piece and the lower edge of the sleeve have been snapped into place. Next, we have Select Unsewn Patterns. This function helps quickly check and find any missed patterns. Below that is the function to optimize all curve points. First, display all curve points. Then click on Optimize All Curve Points. You'll notice that the number of curve points decreases, but the curvature remains unchanged. Next is Focus Panorama. This feature allows you to quickly find a suitable view angle. Then, we have the option to remove all baselines. If the baselines are no longer needed, you can delete them all at once. We also previously covered Hide All 3D Patterns. That is Shift-C. If there are many internal lines on a pattern and you want to select and edit them, but often end up selecting the outlines when trying to make a quick selection, you can use the Lock All Outlines tool below and then proceed with the selection. This locks the outlines, preventing them from being selected, so only the internal lines can be selected for editing. In this way, it also facilitates a unified editing of the internal lines. Conversely, you can also unlock all the outlines. When all internal lines are locked, you won't be able to manipulate the internal lines anymore. The same operation applies to guidelines. Finally, the simplest functions are paste and mirror paste, which are used for copying and pasting patterns. We won't go into detail about that. That's it, guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.